In the last section, we had a discussion about two of the core principles of a Mongo database. And when I say Mongo database in this case, I'm talking about the overall Mongo instance. First, a single Mongo database can have multiple internal databases. Second, inside of each of these databases, we can have multiple collections. Each collection represents a single type of resource, and it's extremely uncommon for us to ever have any reason to mix different types of data inside each of these collections. So the example we gave was that I would probably never take a state and put it into my collection of books. We then left off with this little diagram right here that's going to lead us into the first project that we're going to work on. In this first project, we're going to get some mastery over the absolute core ideas behind Mongoose and Mongo. So remember, Mongoose is a library that we're going to use to give us a very nice and elegant API to work with Mongo. So in this section, it's all about mastery of core concepts. The core concepts of Mongoose and Mongo are these four operations I've listed on the screen. We want to make sure that we know really darn well how to create data inside our database, how to read data out of the database once it's in there, how to update the data once it's in there, and then how to destroy or delete data inside our database after we've placed it there. So this first project that we're going to work on is all about these four core operations. Colloquially, we refer to these four operations as CRUD, or C for create, R for read, U for update, and D for destroy. A lot of people, I say CRUD frequently, and people think that I'm like cursing or something like that. No, it's referring to create, read, update, destroy. That's where CRUD comes from. So we will talk about the purposes of this project that we're going to work on in just a moment. But for right now, I want to do just a little touch of setup. And then next section, we'll come back and talk more about what we're doing. So let's get to it. I'm going to open up my command line. So here I am. And I'm inside of a directory where I can locate some number of projects. So it might be like a workspace directory of some type for you. For me, I call this prod because this is the production version of all the code that I'm writing for this course. That's why I call this folder prod. Inside this directory, I'm going to make a new file called users, and then I'm going to change into that directory. Now this directory is completely empty right now, so nothing in here just yet. For this first project, we are going to make a tiny little application from scratch just for the purposes of learning more about the Mongo and Mongoose API. This is not really going to have any outwards facing visual component. It's going to be entirely about going through a number of exercises and figuring out how Mongoose and Mongo really work. I'm really excited about this project, even though it might sound like a little bit boring, because we're going to set up everything for this thing from absolute scratch. So you are going to really know how to wire up a application from scratch with both Mongoose and Mongo. All right, let's take a quick break, come back, and then get started on the setup of this application and talk about exactly what it is we're going to be making.